What is up? What is up, awesome people of the internet? Quita and Mama back here again. Welcome to Women's Hoops with Quita and Mama. We talking all about women's college basketball. Had some WNBA talk earlier, but the game that we just finished watching was South Carolina versus Kentucky, and coming into this game, Mama wanted South Carolina to get the dub, and what happened? Well, Mama gets what she wants, right? Yep. South Carolina gets the win over Kentucky. Final score, 87-64. And Mama, it was kind of over from the beginning, right?
Yeah. In that second quarter, Kentucky lost their gas.
Completely. Tessa Johnson almost outscores Kentucky. She has 10 points. I believe she had 10 points in the second quarter alone. And in the entire second quarter, Mama, Kentucky only had 11 points. Yeah.
Yeah, they lost gas early, and they tried, but you could see that South Carolina was on their A game. Mm-hmm. And it's so hard to stop them on their A game on defense and offense, and it just looked so good. It looked so effortless too. It didn't look like they were working hard to do what they were doing, like, oh, we gotta make sure that we really just put it on them. It seemed like it was just like so easy and smooth for them, and I love it. Because again, they're not number one just to be number one. They proved today why they're number one, make a team that was fairly good look bad.
Yeah.
They made Kentucky really look bad today.
Yeah.
But in that first quarter, it didn't look like that. The first quarter, Kentucky, even though they had turnovers in the first quarter, they seemed to be trying to play the game to the level that South Carolina plays at. But something happened in that second quarter that kind of like led them in a down spiral, and they never really gained any steam.
Well, you want to know what happened, Mama? South Carolina defense is what happened. This Kentucky team, they're a good team. But if you've watched Kentucky this year, you know, in a lot of ways, they begin and end with Clara Strack. Clara Strack is their best player. Clara Strack is amazing. However, Clara Strack couldn't really get anything going. Mm-mm. Now, was she efficient? Yeah, she was 5 of 8, but she didn't touch the ball a lot in this game. And the reason why is because Joyce Edwards was playing defense. Basically, all of South Carolina was playing some really good defense. From 1 through 5, it looked really, really good. We saw a little bit of zone. We saw some man-to-man, and it didn't really matter what Dawn called on the defensive end. It was clear that South Carolina was going to ensure that Clara Strack worked crazy hard to even get positioning to try to get the ball.
Yeah. And
when that's happening, when your big woman is now deemed ineffective because you can't even get the ball because you're playing such elite denial defense, I mean, it is what it is. Mm-hmm. And then we see turnover after turnover after turnover for Kentucky because, again, active hands. Everybody was bought in from the get-go in South Carolina. And here's the thing. South Carolina's a good team. Kentucky's a good team. If South Carolina is clicking on all cylinders, there is nobody in the SEC that can stop them. They can't. Mm-hmm. It just is what it is. And today, they were clicking on all cylinders.
Yes.
We saw Tessa doing her thing, making buckets, right? She did her thing in this game. We saw specifically in that second quarter. We saw Joyce Edwards throughout the game until she ended up sitting for the rest of the game because, of course, they were dominating by 20 something points. Like it was insane. But we saw her doing her thing and ended up finishing the game with 21 points in 23 minutes. And then the big woman, Madina Okot. She had a double-double in the first half, guys.
Yeah.
The first half, she had a double-double. And she had a signature three-point shot. Kentucky was at the time, what's the second quarter, I think? Kentucky was in a zone. And Madina got the ball at the top of the key. And there was two Kentucky defenders that was kind of like there, but then they went over to the side because they were like, oh, let's protect this 3-point shooter over here. But Madina's like, let me
leave me open? You gonna leave me open? She took it.
She like, hey, let me remind you, I can knock down this 3. Splash. So all the people who thought that Medina's 3-point shooting was a fluke, y'all, once again, Medina knocks down a 3-point shot. And on the season, Mama, actually, guessing game. Okay. Mama, can you guess how many, can you actually guess the 3-point percentage of Medina Okott this season?
I'm going to say...
What do you think her 3-point percentage is?
I'm going to say 39%.
Too low. She shoots 47% from the 3.
Almost 50%? What?
Now, to be fair, she's only taken 19 3-pointers so far this year.
Okay.
But shooting
that ain't bad, though.
47% from someone who didn't even shoot a 3 last year with Mississippi State. There was no 3s taken at all from Medina last year. This year,
19.
The 6'6" post player out of Kenya is knocking down the 3s, man. And dog, that continues to give so much energy to South Carolina.
It does.
And it's just like,
I love it. When she does it, it's like elevates the game even more. They already were on doing what they were supposed to do. And then when she does it, it's like it gives them another level of energy. I love to see it.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. You got her double, 13 points, 13 rebounds, 12 points for Medina. She was doing her thing on defense as well. Got a block, got a couple steals, and
everybody seemed to got steals today.
Yeah.
Well, Kentucky was passing the ball.
Was turning over the ball left and right.
They were turning over the balls in their passes.
Yeah.
And the ball would get stolen. And it's like, how many times are you going to do this? You keep trying to feed the ball in, and the hands were not allowing it. South Carolina was not allowing those balls to get passed once they got past that the free throw line.
Yeah.
It was like, y'all keep trying to feed it in. It ain't going to work.
Yeah.
But they kept trying anyway. Turnover.
They were trying because if you all don't remember, this is actually the second time that Kentucky has played South Carolina in the last couple of days. They just played them at Kentucky, where it was a neck-and-neck game. Ultimately, we did see South Carolina win 60-59 in that game, but
they barely won.
They barely won, and we saw Clara Strack have a really good game. She was able to get the basketball and make some stuff happen. And it seemed like today, South Carolina, specifically Joyce Edwards, upped the ante on how she played defense, and Clara Strack was not able to succeed in a way that she did this past weekend is when they played. And then I'm sure in the post game presser, Kenny Brooks is going to talk about how they're tired and how this is their 3rd game in 3 days. And yes, that is true. Kentucky, they beat Arkansas, then they played and beat Georgia yesterday, and now they had South Carolina. So yes, 3rd game in 3 days. However, this is how conference play is.
Right.
This is why you need to be better during the regular season, because you can be like Vandy, you can be like Texas, you can be like LSU, you can be like South Carolina and get that double bye. But if you don't take care of business during the regular season, hey, you can't be complaining and be like, oh, we playing so many games in a few amount of time. Well, everybody who does not get the job done during the regular season, they all have to do that. This is a thing for the Big Ten, for the ACC, for the Big 12, it's always a thing in any conference you want to talk about. The best teams get buys.
Yep.
And if you want to buy, if you want to say you're tired, which you are tired, that's a legit reason. However, no one cares about that. It's win or go home. Now, is Kentucky completely going home? I mean, temporarily, but in 2 weeks they're going to be in the NCAA tournament.
Right.
So they're going to be good, but we'll see if that rest that they get in the between time between this tournament and the NCAA tournament. We'll see if that does.
So they don't play. So since they lost this game, they don't play anything else until the international part. I mean, until the national.
Yes.
Okay. So I hear when people always use the argument they tired, but in tournaments, don't you raise to a different level? They are conditioned to raise to a different level because it is a tournament, and you know you're going to play a lot of games. You expect to play a lot of games. So I often say in these instances, the argument of tiredness has to go out the window, because you can't use tiredness as a reason to play as poor as they played. They should have had another game plan when you can't get your best player in action. You have to have another game plan. You just have to. In a tournament, please.
Yeah.
So your tiredness has to go out the window, because, again, you have to raise yourself to a different level. It's a tournament. What is a tournament? You play multiple games quickly, right? This is nothing new. So I don't buy that argument of tiredness. I don't. And you could be tired, but mentally you have to raise to a different level.
Yeah.
And that would allow your game to transition to your feet.
Yeah.
It would give you more energy.
Yeah. And once Clara was kind of neutralized in this game, that was it for Kentucky. That was it. It got to the point where it was actually hard to watch the game.
Yeah.
It was hard to watch because South Carolina was winning so badly.
Yeah.
Ultimately, the biggest lead in the game was 26 points. South Carolina was winning. Right? And then ultimately, they do end up winning 87-64. They led throughout the game. Over 90% of the game, South Carolina was winning. We
thought it was going to be a better game because of the previous game.
Yeah.
We thought it was going to be at least a little more competitive than what it was because of that previous game where South Carolina almost lost the game.
Yeah.
Playing it to the edge, if you will. And so the coach may want to use the argument tiredness as an excuse as to why they didn't play as good in this game as they did in the previous game. He may have wanted to use that narrative.
Yeah, and I would even argue that, like, South Carolina again today was clicking on all cylinders. That last game against Kentucky, they weren't. They weren't, and that's why you saw the result that you got, right? And so yeah, I mean, when it comes to South Carolina versus the field of the SEC, if South Carolina is doing their job on both offense and defense, it's hard to see them lose. It's just Dawn Staley continues to create well-oiled machines. That's just what she does.
That's a great way of putting it.
That's what she does. And when they're doing what she told them to do in the way that she know they can do it, well, I mean, who's going to stop them?
Yeah, the level of confidence she gives her players is unreal.
And every quarter is somebody different. It could be Joyce one quarter. It could be Tessa. It could be Madina. Like it's just.
It's not on one person's shoulder.
Yeah, it's everybody. And I feel like this has turned into a South Carolina love fest. And here's the thing: I'm not a fan of South Carolina. Mama is.
I am.
I would have loved for South Carolina to lose because it would have been fun for me. Not because I have anything against them, because I like people getting got. I just enjoy that. However, what can you say about this game other than South Carolina's amazing? What else can you say? They look great. And they made a really good Kentucky team look bad.
Yeah.
That's what they did.
Because we know Kentucky is good.
Yeah. We absolutely know Kentucky's good. And you got freaking Tanaya Latson, one of the best scorers in the country last year on your team at South Carolina, and all she's doing is passing the basketball. She's passing the basketball. She's getting her teammates involved, and you have an elite scorer that's like, hey, I'm gonna accept this other role, and when I have an opportunity to score, oh yeah, I'm gonna get some buckets, right? But 6 assists for Tanaya Latson today. 11 points, 7 points for Raven Johnson, 5 assists for her. This team looked great, and the bench got a lot of minutes.
Got a lot of time in,
and that's what you need because you playing tomorrow and you're playing on Sunday. So that's what you want to have in your first game of the conference play, to be able to say, you know what, we have a 26-point lead. Okay, come in this game, right? Maddie, come in the game. Come in the game. Dowda, come in. Torny B's, come in, and y'all take care of business and let the starters rest.
Right.
That's what you want. If you're in the SEC, you want that to happen
because they may have tougher games going forward.
Oh, you know for a fact it's gonna be tough again.
I know what I'm saying. So the starters do need to rest. Don't need to give all their energy, and that's another sign of wisdom for Dawn. She's not gonna let them stay out there. You don't need to be out there. We done won the game. We just got to finish the timeout.
Well, that's why you have to take care of business early. And this is gonna be a question mark for the games later today. We got Ole Miss versus Vandy. We have Oklahoma versus LSU, and I don't anticipate those games to be decided early like this one. And so we're going to run into a situation where it's probably going to be that those teams are going to probably beat up on each other, and South Carolina is going to be kicking back and being like, oh, okay, well, let's
ready with energy.
Yeah, let's just watch y'all duke it out, because I 100% think this game that we're about to watch right now with Oklahoma and LSU,
I think it's going to be good,
really good and really close. That's what I anticipate. I hope it's really good and really close. Yeah. If it's a blowout, I don't anticipate it being a blowout.
I don't think this one will be.
Yeah.
And I don't like blowouts. That's why we couldn't watch South Carolina past halftime.
Well, we couldn't watch it live.
I mean, live, but I'm saying with LSU, I hope they can.
Wait, who do you want to win, Mama? Between LSU and Oklahoma, who do you want?
I actually don't have. I love LSU. Don't get me wrong, but I just don't. I don't know if they can beat Elena Beard.
Reagan
Beard. Okay, I'm not saying Elena.
Reagan Beard.
I don't know if they can beat her.
They can't, but I think they can neutralize just about everybody. Aaliyah Chavez. Sometimes she could shoot herself in the foot. Like she could be fantastic and also terrible. Also, so it just depends. It depends on what version of Aaliyah Chavez we see.
Oh, okay.
That's what it depends on to me. It depends on Aaliyah Chavez. Reagan is gonna get her points. That ain't a question. But what does Aaliyah Chavez do? That to me, if she's on, LSU gonna have a hard time.
Well, Beard is the only one I'm concerned with as the challenge for LSU, in a sense.
I mean, well, yeah, because no one. I mean, it's hard pressed to find somebody who
can challenge her on LSU.
I mean, nobody. But that's what I'm saying. You can allow her to do whatever you can allow her to score points, and as long as you shut down everybody else, I mean, you kind of got it. You kind of got the game. And so. But
again, LSU has to have one of their best games to do it.
I think Flau'jae has to show up early. Has to show up early, and you need. I would say you need
Williams.
You need Michaela Williams as well.
Them too.
They gotta show up and have a really good game, and then Malaysia for a while they gotta come off the bench and rock and roll. Be ready to go.
This is the game they need to show out.
LSU has better guards, and I think guard play, because it can be way faster than Reagan Beers. I think guard play can win it for LSU.
Okay, but if they feed Beers, see, that's the thing, because feeding her in the middle is always a challenge for smaller guards, and because who are they gonna have to? Who is LSU gonna have to guard Beard?
Reagan Beers is she's about
6'4", right?
She's a big girl. I don't know who
they gonna have. That's
who guarded Reagan Beers. Seriously, the thing is sometimes I forget who guarded Reagan Beers last time. I mean, you can put Grace Knox on her. Kate Koval's gonna struggle, I would say. Zakia's short, but Zakia is very physical. And then you have, of course, Mai, who's probably going to be the primary defender on Reagan.
Okay.
Amaya Joyner, she's probably going to be the primary defender. But again, I think Reagan Beers can score 25 points and Oklahoma still loses. Because to me, it's totally about Lee Chavez.
Okay.
And like how good or bad she plays. Because she can be amazing, but also she can be a liability at the same time. Well, I mean, honestly that's a lot of players actually. Okay. That's actually a lot of players, even on LSU. They can be great, but also they can be a huge liability.
That's true.
We've seen it.
I would love to see LSU actually win it, but I'm not like, oh, if they don't win, then I'm heartbroken. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying I'm heartbroken if they lose. But if I'm a pull for a team, that's the team I'm pull for.
For LSU.
Yeah.
All right, cool. We'll see if LSU is able to get the job done. The game starts in about 4 minutes. Again, South Carolina destroys Kentucky. It wasn't really a game after the first quarter, really. They win 87-64, and now they have to wait and see who they are going to face. Either it's going to be Oklahoma or it's going to be LSU. Kim Mulkey is saying something important to Coach Bransick for Oklahoma. Something funny. Anyway, we'll see y'all shortly. All right, bye-bye.